A New Jersey teen has been charged with murder in the hit-and-run deaths of two girls. ABC's Rhiannon Alley reports.
Prosecutors say 17-year-old Maria Neotis and Isabella Salas were struck by a black SUV just before 5:30 Monday night. The driver allegedly fled the scene but was later apprehended. It was originally reported to be a tragic hit-and-run accident, but 2 days later, authorities arresting a 17-year-old boy, charging him with 2 counts of first-degree murder for the deaths of the best friends.
Tesla reported a surprise increase in third-quarter sales.
The embattled electric car manufacturer saw a spike in sales as customers rushed to take advantage of an electric vehicle tax credit before it expired in September. Sales rose by 7%, with nearly 500,000 vehicles sold. Earlier this year, the company suffered 2 consecutive quarters of declining sales as some customers distanced themselves from the politics of the company's CEO, Elon Musk. Peter Haralambous, ABC News, New York.
24 Americans were on board an aid flotilla that was trying to deliver humanitarian aid to Gaza when it was intercepted by Israeli forces. The Israeli military is calling it a provocation, and organizers of the flotilla say there were about 443 people who may have been detained by the Israelis. In Rome, protesters chanting "Free, Free Palestine" while demonstrating against the detentions. On Wall Street, the Dow gaining 78 points today. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
News Talk 610 AM and 102.1 FM. KVNU.
It's now 5:05 on this Thursday afternoon. I'm Will Feelright with your KVNU local headlines. Well, Logan residents are invited to meet the candidates for both mayor and city council tonight at a moderated conversation about the city's future. Now, the event, which is being dubbed Let's Talk Logan, will be taking place at the Utah Theater beginning at 7 o'clock and will be broadcast live here on KVNU. Now, participants, including mayoral candidates Alana Nafziger and Councilman Mark Anderson, will be present along with city council candidates Brian Siemens, Katie Lee Coben, Melissa Daly, and Ernesto Lopez. Now, Anderson said that the goal is to foster an open, respectful, and optimistic dialogue that highlights ideas to strengthen Logan's future. Now, candidates will be discussing prepared themes like housing, economic opportunity, and infrastructure. The event is free and will emphasize civil, solution-focused discussions with candidates available to mingle afterwards. As I mentioned, it will be broadcast here on KVNU beginning at 7 o'clock and also streamed at kvnutalk.com and the KVNU mobile app. Meanwhile, the federal government shutdown has forced uncertainty and a loss of pay for thousands of Utah federal workers, with many deemed essential that are still being required to work. Now, Troy Tingey, past president of a local union for workers at Hill Air Force Base, said that it's frustrating going to work not knowing when you'll get a paycheck. Now, Tingey noted that the base is also struggling to complete work because many experienced colleagues have been furloughed. Meanwhile, some Utah agencies avoided immediate cuts. The IRS workers in Ogden secured funding to help them through next Tuesday, while the Utah Department of Environmental Quality also secured over $1 million in pre-approved federal grants, allowing it to remain fully staffed to protect air and water quality for months. And Utah State University students have expressed a willingness to welcome future political events on campus, despite the bomb scare and heightened security that surrounded Tuesday night's successful Turning Point USA rally. Now, the event, which drew an estimated 6,500 people, was held in the Spectrum just 3 weeks after the assassination of the group's founder, Charlie Kirk. Now, before the rally, USU's Old Main building was briefly evacuated after a suspicious non-explosive package was found and detonated. Student Ezra Miller said that the large police presence had made him feel safer after the scare, while another student, Mikkel Carter, said that she believes having more political groups visit would be good for people to open their minds. Miller also added that while he would attend indoor events, he likely would be scared of going to any outdoor events. Of course, the rally proceeded Tuesday night without any incident. Well, we've enjoyed a sunny, beautiful afternoon, and it looks like it's going to stay mostly clear as we head into the overnight hours, as temperatures tonight will drop into the mid-40s. And then tomorrow, well, increasing clouds, a possibility of some showers, thunderstorms beginning as temperatures going to be right around the low 70s. That chance of rain will increase as we head into the weekend. And weather this hour is brought to you by Mount Logan Laundry. If it's time to start getting those quilts and blankets out of storage, freshen them on up at Mount Logan Laundry before you put them out on bedding. It's Mount Logan Laundry in Logan and Brigham City, the cleanest spot in town. And I'm Will Theorite with your KVNU News headlines. Another check of local news coming up at the bottom of the hour.
For over a decade, Roof Rescue has been safeguarding your homes with the finest roofing solutions. We understand the value of your time. That's why we're committed to replacing most roofs in just one day. With award-winning service, 100% guaranteed workmanship, and the best warranties in the industry, your watertight peace of mind is guaranteed. Call us today at 435-999-4268 or visit roofrescueusa.com and ask for the $250 off any roof replacement. Financing available? That's roofrescueusa.com.
News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102.1 FM.
Mountain Valley Heating and Air Conditioning will give away 5 free HVAC units to local families in need for 2025. But here's the truth. This year, there were over 60 nominations, so many more families need real help. That's where you can help. Join us at the Feel the Love fundraising dinner, October 13th at the Riverwoods Conference Center. Enjoy a night of dueling pianos, a silent auction, raffle prizes, and a delicious dinner, knowing that 100% of all funds raised go directly to helping more families receive free HVAC units in 2026. Tickets are just $60 per person or $400 for a table of 8. Get yours now at mountainvalleyhvac.com. Mountain Valley Heating and Air invites you to feel the love at a fundraising dinner October 13th at the Riverwoods Conference Center. A huge thanks to the Riverwoods Conference Center for helping to make this event possible. Let's bring a warm home to more families in need.
Hi, it's Olivia Munn with my shelter pets, Frankie and Chance, reminding you that when you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the Humane Society of the United States, and Maddie's Fund.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. Hour 2 of today's show. Jumping right back in here because we have some very special guests joining us. Caught wind of this through a press release announcement that was sent out regarding what is, well, basically 4-H week coming up next week. October 5th through the 11th, nationwide, is 4-H week. And of course, 4-H is still a big part of growing up here in Cache Valley, growing up here in Utah in general. And of course, with Utah State University, a flagship agricultural college right in our backyard, really 4-H needs no introduction from me because it's an important part of all of this. But we wanted to take a minute to celebrate 4-H and get everyone in the loop on events and more taking place throughout Utah and specifically here in Cache Valley as part of 4-H week starting next week. So joining us right now, well, we have a whole group of people joining us, as I understand it. But I know one of those individuals is program coordinator with the Utah State University Extension, Kaitlyn Lunt. And Kaitlyn and I had talked about making this interview happen. So let me first say to you, Kaitlyn, thank you for arranging all of this. And thank you for making sure that we had the opportunity to talk about this.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us. We're excited to be here today.
Oh, it's our pleasure. 4-H has been a big part. I would guess everyone listening, everyone out there has in some way been touched by 4-H, had 4-H a part of their lives in some way. But for a lot of people, I think we kind of forget that this still happens. It almost I've spoken with people who have said, that they don't do this type of stuff with kids anymore. And I said, no, they still do. Hundreds, thousands of them each year. 4-H is an integral part of education, not just in agricultural communities, right?
Yeah, it's much more than that. We have STEM programs and family consumer science programs, shooting sports, mountain biking, you name it, we probably have it.
That is very cool. This is an opportunity, again, to celebrate next week, 4-H Week, a nationwide celebration here that will be spotlighting in different ways throughout the week next week. And Kaitlyn, you brought friends with you today, right?
I did, yes. We have Elise Jenson. She's the Cache County 4-H program coordinator. And then I'll let our youth project ambassadors introduce themselves as well.
Okay.
My name is JC Pratt. I'm the GOAT ambassador for Cache County. I've been so since 2023 and I've had a lot of great opportunities.
Very nice.
And my name's Reese Page. I am the horse ambassador, and I've also been working with the county in this position since 2023.
Okay, very nice. For both, a quick question for both of the youth ambassadors. Where's your area of expertise or focus within the 4-H? What is it that you specialize in?
Me personally, I specialize in the goats, so showing goats at the county fair and around the state.
Very nice. And go ahead.
And I show horses, so just demonstrating that bond between me and my horse in the arena is what I love to do. But I've also spent time in the sewing part of 4-H and then also entering cooking exhibits into the county fair as well.
Oh, so the youth ambassadors are pretty busy, is what I'm hearing. This is that's pretty exciting to hear. Shifting just a bit now, so our listeners get a chance to hear from everyone right out of the gate here. But we have both, as I mentioned, Kaitlyn Lunt, who is the through USU Extension, the program coordinator, and then Kaitlyn, you said you have the specific Cache Valley 4-H program coordinator as well.
Yes, I do. Elise can introduce herself. Yeah, hi. I'm the coordinator over Cache County, and I have been in this position for a few years, and I love it so much. I love to just see how much 4-H changes people's lives every day.
What does it take to coordinate 4-H? Because we mentioned this just a little bit, and as Kaitlyn mentioned, we have kind of an oversimplified concept of 4-H if we're older, but 4-H is so many things these days, from high tech to the traditional stuff that most people, I think, associate with 4-H. Is that a challenge to coordinate all of this? And you've got kids interested in all of it or only some of it?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I do feel like it's a big responsibility to try and meet everyone's needs in the county because it's such a wide variety of opportunities. And so it's different everywhere you go. But in our county, we just try and find what people are most interested in and be able to build off of that. But we couldn't do it without our volunteer club leaders. And that's a lot of what I do is work with the volunteers in our county that completely just take time out of their lives and do it for free just to help the kids around them. And so I do a lot of coordinating with them and supporting them as much as I can to give them the opportunities that they need. But yeah, we do a little bit of everything, and we just try and meet all of the needs of the people around us so that all the kids can find their spark in 4-H.
This is, again, an important opportunity for many here in the Valley to not only be a part of 4-H. If you've got a young person out there listening, this is an opportunity to explore the idea from STEM to livestock education, leadership skills, sewing, creative arts, food, and then, of course, a big role each year in the Cache County Fair. So I'm not sure who wants to take this first, but how do you plan to celebrate kicking off 4-H week on Monday?
Yeah, so as a nation, National 4-H has decided that Monday is going to be Go Green Day. So we're inviting everyone to join us in showing off their 4-H green. Hats, T-shirts, sunglasses, we love it all. and then post your photos on social media, and you can tag National 4-H as well as Utah 4-H. So we're on Instagram at Utah 4-H, and we're on Facebook and TikTok as well. We want to see everybody's green. And then on Thursday, we're celebrating 4-H for Good Day. That's in partnership with the Wicked Part 2.
Oh, wow.
Coming out, very excited about that. But we're just hoping to spotlight some of the good that's happening in the world and showing off the amazing community service efforts that our 4-Hers do and all the good stuff that they do.
This is very cool. There is a lot that can be put in the spotlight and celebrated as well. For listeners, again, 4-H here in Cache County is everything from science, technology, engineering, art, and math, the STEAM specializations. There's, of course, the junior livestock program, outdoor education programs. There's a 4-H dog club, which we've talked about before here on the show, and the showmanship shows that they do are really fun. There's the traditional 4-H horse program, and then, of course, events all throughout the year. They have now virtual gardening activities throughout the year. They have special kits that you can get, and then, of course, a lot of opportunities for youth in leadership from the ambassadors we have joining us here on the show. But also there is a Cache County Teen Council and more that operates through the 4-H program. It's a lot is what I'm getting at. We're going to take a quick break here, but visit extension.usu, can't talk today, extension.usu.edu/cache/4H. You can see all the programs I've just mentioned, and you can also visit the Instagram pages I've linked to as well, and that Kaitlyn has mentioned here and Elise has mentioned. Again, joining us here on the show, we have youth ambassadors with Cache 4-H, the program coordinator for the state of Utah, and 4-H program coordinator for Cache County. And we are talking about 4-H Week, which gets underway this coming Monday. Stick around. We've got more to cover right after this.
We're here with Chuck, founder of Dollar Loan Center. You always tell me it's worth the drive. What do you mean by that?
We charge so much less than payday or title lenders, and unlike banks, we actually lend money. Our locations are really nice, Craig. No bulletproof glass, plastic furniture joints. They're like the banks used to be. Clean, fun, great tunes on, and real live staff who love to help. And if you don't want to stop in, you can complete your whole application on your couch via your fancy smartphone. But we sure would like to meet you in person and tell you all about Dollar Loan Center and how we can help you get more money for less money.
DLC lends up to $5,000 in minutes, and you can get your cash in person at one of our 70 locations, on our website, don'tbebroke.com, or even over the phone with one of our helpful, real staff members. You're gonna love Dollar Loan Center.
Licensed by the Utah Department of Financial Institutions, subject to approval. Limitations may apply. See website for details.
As a lifelong Idahoan, I know the importance of defending our values and protecting our way of life. I'm Congressman Mike Simpson, and I'm proud to work alongside President Trump to deliver our conservative agenda for Idaho families, driving down inflation, securing the border, and returning to American energy independence. It's an honor to be your voice in Congress and to fight for a stronger, safer, and more prosperous nation. To learn more about my work in Washington and across Idaho, visit simpson.house.gov.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
PTA can help enrich your child's life and learning experience. Join us today.
Welcome back to KVN News for the People. Special guest joining us here, first half of hour 2. Talking 4-H Week. Nationwide, 4-H Week is a chance to celebrate what 4-H means to many young people throughout the country, but also how 4-H has changed and evolved over the years. It's a huge program, and they offer access for young people to everything from science and technology to the things most of us more traditionally associate with 4-H, the livestock shows, horses, goats, as one of the youth ambassadors here has mentioned, but also there are dog shows. There are opportunities to be involved in leadership roles, councils, and more here in Cache Valley and throughout the state of Utah. Joining us right now from Utah State University Extension, we have Program Coordinator Kaitlyn Lunt and the 4-H Program Coordinator for Cache County, Elise Jenson. And I'm sorry, I have a horrible memory. I remember first names, but to both youth ambassadors, or 4-H youth ambassadors here, can you give us your names one more time?
My name's JC Pratt. I'm the goat ambassador for Cache County.
Okay.
I'm Reese Page, the horse ambassador for Cache County.
Very nice. And that is a great segue into the next question here for you, JC, and you, Reese. Where do you hope this goes from here as you continue through or 4-H? Careers in mind? Do you have specific places you'd like your experience with 4-H to take you?
You know, I've had a lot of great opportunities moving forward through 4-H, and they've introduced me to a lot of cool people. And I'm hoping to continue schooling, go up to Utah State, and hopefully go into the vet college. The end goal is get my doctorate in veterinary medicine and go and help out people around the valley, and that's where I hope it goes for me.
Very nice. That's pretty cool, right? This new veterinarian school. I have to be honest with you. I thought we had one already. USU, it's an ag school. I just kind of assumed that USU was already training veterinarians through education, but I'm happy we're doing it now, right?
Pardon?
I'm happy that we're finally doing it now. That school is up and running, and JC, you said you want to be one of the first groups of students to enter the school?
Yes, sir.
That is very cool. And for you, Reese?
Through horses, I've discovered a love for communicating with others about the industry, right? Sure. And I'm able to do that, especially as a horse ambassador. And so my plan is to attend USU as well and study communications, hoping to go into a field where I can help others learn more about horses and just work in the horse industry, but in that aspect of it.
Very nice. This is, again, a chance to highlight 4-H Week. Now, this is celebrated nationwide, but we're talking specifically about ways it will be celebrated here in Cache County. And a question for you, Kaitlyn and Elise, as coordinators of the program, how has 4-H... Well, actually, let me ask it this way. What are your favorite stories of young people who have come through the program and where they've ended up?
That's a great question. Trying to think of a good story right off the top of my head.
Sorry. We like to surprise people here.
I think actually some of our ambassadors have really good stories, if you don't mind me passing that off to them.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Take it away, JC and Reese.
So one of my best friends, she is from Amalga, Utah, and she grew up in Cache County 4-H. She showed steers all throughout high school, and she was able to develop some really valuable skills through that. She has now graduated from Utah State with an ag communications degree and has moved to Arkansas and is currently serving as Miss Rodeo Arkansas. She's about to go represent that state at the Miss Rodeo America pageant this December.
Wow, that's impressive. This is and JC, you have an example you'd like to give?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head, but I'll keep thinking on it.
How about this? We'll just check back in with you, all right, in about a year.
All right,
we'll see where you've ended up. No, this is really exciting because I know, if 4-H gives young people access to things and experience with things that are so unique and can be so specialized that it gives them a leg up, whether they go on to college, whether they go to a trade school, whether whether their education stops at high school. It gives them an opportunity to kind of get into an area of interest that is so unique and talk about job security. Everything 4-H teaches and exposes kids to is guaranteed job security, especially here in the West. But Kaitlyn, Elise, I wanted to ask you a bit about this. There's a theme for this week's this year's 4-H week. And again, for listeners, 4-H week 2025 will be celebrated next week, October 5th through 11th. And the theme is Beyond Ready. Kaitlyn, Elise, what does that mean? Beyond Ready? What's the purpose of the theme?
Yeah, so Beyond Ready is our current initiative on a national 4-H level. And so what Beyond Ready means is through all the different programs and things that we do in 4-H is we're preparing these youth to be beyond ready for work and life, whether that's skills that they're gaining that are going to lead directly into career, like JC is learning through his GOAT program right now that'll help him be a better veterinarian someday, or whether it's just resume building because we ask them to build portfolios and resumes with all their 4-H projects, and that will just help them in a future career, or learning communication skills. Part of this Beyond Ready program as well is we've done the data and we've found that they're just better than other youth in a way. They're 4 times more likely to have a strong work ethic. We found that they're 2 times more likely to develop leadership skills. They're 147% more likely to know how to help their peers with mental health, which is a huge issue in today's world. And so we're just finding that through these 4-H programs, they're just becoming truly beyond ready for whatever life throws their way.
That is very cool. This is a text coming in from a listener here. This just made me laugh, but I know what they're talking about here. A listener said, my third grader brought home a Discovery box, and now she's growing better tomatoes than I do. That gave me a chuckle. Can you talk about that a little bit? These Discovery boxes are part of the sort of a grade school oriented program, right?
Yeah, that's so fun. On the national level, I believe we have Discovery boxes that these youth can receive, and it helps them just find their spark. That's the goal, right? So I'm sure this little third grader didn't even know before that they loved growing tomatoes, and now look how far they've come, growing better tomatoes than their parents. But that's awesome, and found a new spark in science.
That is very cool. For listeners out there, if you're interested in the Discovery Box, I've linked to it on our Facebook page, but through the National 4-H website, you can find them, or just do a simple search for 4-H Discovery Boxes. And these are cheap. They're $20 to $30 for. Yeah, but I love that. A listener said their third grader got one of these boxes and now grows better tomatoes than I do. Speaking again with Kaitlyn Lunt and Elise Jenson, both program coordinators through USU Extension with the 4-H program, and ambassadors for the 4-H program, JC and Reese here with us as well. And this, again, is an opportunity to, in advance, highlight next week's National 4-H Week, October 5th through 11th. And the theme, as we've discussed here, is Beyond Ready. And folks, to all of you, I appreciate y'all taking the time, but I think what would be great for listeners maybe to put JC and Reese on the spot here a little bit, but as ambassadors for the program, if there's someone out there listening with young kids, or maybe there's even young kids out there listening and they're thinking about it, but maybe they're worried about time commitment, they're worried about whether or not this is something that will really interest them. What would you say to everyone listening to inspire them to join and get involved with the local 4-H?
Personally, I have seen this time after time. People come in and they're interested, but they just aren't too sure about where they might fit in or how they're going to manage their time in 4-H. And I think one of the great things about 4-H is that since it's like a club of clubs, right? And so since we have so many different avenues, there are lots of different opportunities and flexibility with time. And so if your school year is looking a little bit more busy, livestock and horse, of course, their shows are more in the summertime. And I think even just reaching out to youth and adult leaders about those questions specifically is a great way to start. We're always around at these 4-H things, and you can always call in to the Cache County Extension office to ask any questions you have.
Very nice. And for you, JC, any words of encouragement for people to encourage them to get involved?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with what Reese said. I've seen many people come into the industry, going back and forth on where they should. And as they've decided to go full into it, I've seen them become great people and really turn out to just be something. So I couldn't encourage it more. I know I wouldn't be the person I am today without it, and I think it just helps you become a better person at the end of the day.
That is very cool to hear. This is, and I think for all of our listeners, you can kind of hear just in the confidence even from JC and Reese, what they're picking up through 4-H, getting exposed to these things, getting a chance to be a part of these things, and whether that is, as you know, for JC, goats and headed into those programs, which, by the way, those are such cool animals, but they're unpredictable, right, JC?
They are. They got some personalities.
That is very cool. And Reese, of course, looking at a career in communications of some sort and helping to educate in the equine industries, which is a big part of life in the West here as well. So a big need for that. Two kids with very bright futures because of what they've had a chance to have experience with through the 4-H program. So if you'd like to know more, of course, I've linked to all of these websites on our Facebook page, but a simple search for Cache Valley 4-H or visiting 4h.org. USU Extension has some links as well on their website to 4-H programs. There is really a million ways you can get to the information, but be a part of celebrating 4-H week next week here in Cache Valley and throughout Utah and the nation, October 5th through 11th. And various events planned throughout the valley. I've linked to that calendar as well that Kaitlyn mentioned on our Facebook page. But you can just visit extension.usu.edu/cache/4H for more. And to everyone here, program coordinators, Kaitlyn and Elise, and to our two 4-H Youth Project ambassadors, JC and Reese as well. Appreciate you all taking the time to do this today, and it's been exciting to get to put the spotlight on local 4-H. Can't wait to see what happens next.
Thank you so much for having us today.
Yeah.
Thank you to all of you for your time, and I hope we get an excuse to speak again soon. And I'm not kidding, JC, Reese, we'll check in with you guys a year and see where life has taken you, all right?
Sounds great. Thank you.
Very nice. Thanks to you all, Kaitlyn, Elise, JC, and Reese, for being with us, for your time. Thanks to our listeners for their time as well. Stick around. More to talk about on the other side of these headlines with KVNU's Will Feel Right.
Well, thank you, Jason. Utilities across the West are failing in their commitments to reduce the use of fossil fuels, including those in Utah. Now, the report, which was compiled by the Sierra Club, was called The Dirty Truth, and it grades utilities annually since 2021 on whether they're upholding their pledges to generate cleaner energy. Now, this year, the main utility company serving Utah scored just 31 out of 100, giving it a D grade on their progress toward transitioning away from coal and natural gas. Now, Luis Miranda with the Utah Beyond Coal campaign said that it pays to watch what they do and not just what they say.
Utility companies usually tell us one story, but then when they release their plans, they're actually telling a different story. The fact that they're actually hiding that they're not as committed to clean energy, they're not as committed to saving their customers money.
Now, Miranda says the report shows that the state's coal plants are making money for a few, while they're also giving kids asthma, making the water dirty and unsafe, and emptying Utahns' wallets.
The problem is that those coal power plants are old, they're expensive. It really benefits a few of the rich people that own those coal mines and the utility company itself, but it comes at a cost to the ratepayers.
Now, nationally, the Dirty Truth report showed that many power companies are abandoning their commitments to move toward renewable energy. And an Idaho judge has blocked the full release of graphic crime scene photos from the 2022 quadruple murder of those 4 University of Idaho students, ruling that disseminating the images is an unwarranted invasion of the victims' families' privacy. Now, 2nd District Judge Megan Marshall ordered the city of Moscow on Wednesday to black out portions of the photos and videos that show the victims' bodies or the blood immediately surrounding them. Now, the ruling came after family members of 2 of the victims had requested that the images be kept from public view. Now, Judge Marshall acknowledged the public interest in seeing investigation records, but he stated that there is little to be gained by the public seeing the descendants' bodies. Now, the ruling also included videos showing the distraught friends of the victims on the morning the bodies were discovered. Now, those can be released. Brian Koberger was sentenced to life without parole in July for the stabbing that occurred at an off-campus home. Well, it's been a gorgeous afternoon as we've enjoyed sunny skies. Temperatures have been in the mid-70s today. We topped out at 79. And now as we head into the overnight hours, well, it's going to drop into the mid-40s with still mostly clear skies. Starting tomorrow, we'll start to see some increasing clouds. That's going to bring a chance of some showers beginning Friday afternoon, and then increasing chances of rain possible for Saturday, clearing up, though, by Sunday. And weather this hour brought to you by Mountain Valley Heating and Air Conditioning. They gave away 5 full HVAC systems to local families in need this year. And if you want to feel the love, find out by going to mountainvalleyhvac.com. It's mountainvalleyhvac.com. And I'm Will Theorite with your KVNU News Headlines.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. A deadly terror attack on a synagogue in Manchester, England. The suspect ramming a car into a crowd, then going on a stabbing rampage.
Authorities say the suspect, whose identity has yet to be released, was wearing a vest with the appearance of an explosive device, and police shot and killed him within 7 minutes. UK's Prime Minister Keir Starmer saying he's appalled by the attack and deploying additional police to synagogues across the country.
ABC's Kira Phillips. In Washington, lawmakers remain deadlocked on day 2 of the government shutdown, and the Trump administration is ramping up the threat, saying the number of federal workers who could be fired is, quote, likely going to be in the thousands. The Senate to take another stab at passing a funding bill tomorrow. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, who once lived next door to Jeffrey Epstein, telling the New York Post that he believes Epstein may have traded alleged blackmail videos for a lesser prison sentence during his first criminal case in 2008. This is ABC News.
Do you suffer from consistent symptoms like these, and no matter how many doctors you see, things don't improve?
I definitely had fatigue and unexplained weight gain, brain fog, my joints hurt, and I just didn't feel like me. The last couple of years, I just had doctors telling me, oh, you're over 40, we can put you on prescriptions, and I just knew that wasn't what I wanted.
In a conventional model, it's typically one size fits all. Everyone's herded around like sheep and treated the exact same way. When they come to Red River, it's important to customize the treatment plan for that specific patient.
Talking with Dr. Swindlehurst, I just immediately felt like he was listening. He had a plan for me individually as a human being. If you're feeling the way that I was feeling, there's no reason that you can't go in for a consultation and do your blood work and see what they say.
If you're battling autoimmune symptoms, we have personalized options just for you.
Call Red River Health and Wellness at 855-55-RIVER.
Call Red River today.
Hey golfers, this is Eric Clevin at Birch Creek inviting you to support the Cash Food Pantry and be a team sponsor at the 2nd annual Birdies for Backpacks charity golf event to be played on Tuesday, October 14th. Call Birch Creek today and be a team sponsor and support the Cash Food Pantry Birdies for Backpacks charity golf event to be played on Tuesday, October 14th. Call Birch Creek today for information. That's Birch Creek Golf Course in Smithfield.
Did you know 22 Americans die each day waiting for organ transplants, most of them for kidneys? The good news is that MatchingDonors.com is helping to change that. MatchingDonors.com is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that links organ donors with people in desperate need of kidneys and other transplants. And now you don't need to donate a kidney to save a life. You can donate your boat, car, or real estate, with 100% of the proceeds going to help save the lives of people needing organ transplants. Visit MatchingDonors.com or call 800-385-0422.
All right, dads, let's test your knowledge. Ready? What does this sound? Some of the more experienced parents recognize it as the sound a young teenager makes when he's done something he regrets. Listen. Kind of a sad sound, isn't it? But if you recognized it, then you know exactly what to do. Listen. Because that's when together you can both figure out how not to make the same mistake again.
This message from The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. Just a reminder, Let's Talk Logan taking place tonight. This was originally scheduled for September 30th, but moved to tonight, October 2nd, in light of the big Charlie Kirk event going on the 30th. Understandably, they thought there might be a lot of people up there at that who might want to attend this as well, so they moved it last minute, but we're helping to get the word out on that. It takes place at, this will be Logan City mayoral and council candidates, and it will start at 7 at the Utah Theater. Doors open at 6:30, so you can get in, meet with the candidates ahead of time, get a good seat, and then the event officially gets away under 7. Several people have asked how long this is going to last. Mark Anderson was here in the studio a few weeks ago talking to us as a candidate for mayor, not as a city council member, and he said they realize that going too long, people start to tune out, so they're shooting for having the event wrap up by 8:30 at the latest. Now, that's kind of open-ended, so that if it does go a bit longer, if they're in the middle of a good discussion, there's so much to talk about in Logan. But what's going to be interesting about this, people have asked, and I've been talking with folks at Logan City. Traditionally, there is a candidate, like a debate-style meet the candidates night. And Teresa Harris always does the organizing on that. I just show up and moderate. And what they've decided to do is this instead this year, more of an informal setting. So those, don't get me wrong, the Meet the Candidate events that we've done are great, and hats off to Teresa and everyone at Logan City for putting those together every municipal cycle. It's a lot of work for them. But it also, where it's a timed format, more debate style, it does present. Now, there are benefits to that because candidates have to be on their toes and you can move through a lot of topics. And I like that because what might happen tonight, honestly, you might have one topic come up and that's all anyone talks about for the entire hour and a half because it's all the audience wants to hear about, growth or housing or whatever it might be. And that's great. So there are the Meet the Candidate events that we've done are great. This is going to be something unique. And I'm excited to see how it plays out because as Mark told us, so Mark Anderson reached out to all the candidates and said, how do you feel about doing something like this? It's a panel. So Damon Cann will be there as moderator. He is a political science professor at USU, and he also is the consultant for the Cache County Form of Government Study Committee. We talked to him here on the show a few weeks ago. And he is going to moderate tonight, but again, it's a panel-style event, meaning they're not really going to time responses like we normally do in the Meet the Candidate night events. And so it's going to be more open-ended. If one topic does dominate the whole discussion, that will be because the audience wanted that to happen. So this is going to be cool, to be honest with you. I'm going to be there in person, but we are going to be broadcasting this live tonight here on KVNU. So this will be 7 to roughly 8:30 here on KVNU tonight. You'll be able to hear the Let's Talk Logan candidate event. And again, part of this tonight, you have Logan City Council candidates Brian Siemens, Katie Lee Coven, Melissa Daly, and incumbent Ernesto Lopez, as well as mayoral candidates Alana Nafziger and Mark Anderson, current city council member. And Mark told us that the goal of this is, and calling it Let's Talk Logan, they want to try and stick with the theme of forward-looking. So they want to say, okay, here are all these candidates that are going to be whoever's elected here, mayor, city council, either one, they're going to be tasked with making some pretty important decisions. I've said this many times here on the show. The decisions that are made in Logan City right now, I know Logan is just one city of many here in the Valley, but it is the gorilla in the room, and it is the largest city, and it does dominate the most geography, and city-wise, not unincorporated area-wise. And it also, a lot of times, what Logan City does kind of, for lack of a better phrase, sets the tone for Cache Valley. If Logan City moves in one direction, that is usually where the rest of the Valley goes to. So eventually. So it's pretty important. And I know that this election will be decided by Logan residents only, but everyone should recognize, and this applies to all of our respective cities who have elections going on right now, as the general election is underway. The decisions made at the city level right now are so important because in many ways, cities are deciding whether they recognize it or not, whether your council members recognize it or not, whether your city mayor recognizes it or not. The decisions they're making right now are going to play a huge part in defining what Cache Valley looks and feels like to live in 10, 15, 20 years from now. And I'm not being hyperbolic at all, but we're at a bit of a crossroads. We're growing fast. You've seen it. You've all experienced it. We've all grumbled at places that are houses now that weren't when we were kids. We all wonder where everyone's going to live. We've all complained about traffic and begged for relief on that front. We all wonder about water. We've got lawmakers along the Wasatch Front in Salt Lake and Utah counties literally salivating over our water and how to get a pipe from here to there as fast as possible. We see all this stuff happening, and it can seem overwhelming, but the decisions that kind of define or set the stage, really, for how the next 20 years play out are happening right now at the city level and at the county level. And, of course, the legislature plays a huge part in this because they're overseeing road funding. They're overseeing, and their priorities get mixed in, too. But really, your city council, every single council meeting, is voting on some kind of construction, some kind of growth, some kind of long-term planning, some kind of change, basically. There is not a city council meeting that happens in Cache Valley ever anymore in which those things aren't on the agenda. And the way we plan, the way we build, the way we look forward, how much we look forward, I guess I should say, is really going to be the difference between Cache Valley seeming anything like Cache Valley 20 years from now and absolutely not at all like the Cache Valley we all know right now 20 years from now. So these are important decisions. And this isn't to say I think any city, I mean, of course, have my opinions on what certain cities are doing right and wrong, but that's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is the decisions your city councils and your city mayors are making, that's really where the future of Cache Valley is being decided right now. And so this is important. So I'm happy to see this happen. Again, it's called Let's Talk Logan. It's an opportunity to talk about the future of Logan City, which in a large way is also the future of Cache Valley. And it will start at 7 o'clock tonight at the Utah Theater. It's a free event, of course. It's open to anyone. Every candidate will give a 3-minute introduction. And in that introduction, they've been encouraged to identify one top priority for them as a candidate. And then Damon Can will proceed to moderate a discussion. They've got 3 or 4 prepared themes in case the crowd doesn't serve up anything up specifically. And it's a guarantee those are going to be housing, growth, economic development, maybe infrastructure, definitely transportation. And then, of course, Cache Valley. What does it mean to live here? What is when we say things like keep Cache Valley, or Cache Valley culture, what are we talking about? And how do we preserve that? So this is a really big discussion. You'll have, again, all the candidates for city council in Logan, Brian Siemens, Katie Lee Coven, Melissa Daly, and Ernesto Lopez, as well as Alana Nafziger and Mark Anderson, candidates for mayor. Anderson, of course, a current city council member as well. And this is just an open forum. So they are setting some rules for this. They don't want it to turn into an obnoxious high school pep rally. Some folks tried to do that at the Kirk event on Tuesday, and thankfully the Turning Point moderator shut them down quickly. But they're saying contribute with respect. This isn't a chance to shout at a candidate you don't like. And they're asking people to listen and be civil and to keep focused on solutions and ideas for improving Logan going forward. That's the point of all of this. And, of course, no personal attacks. In fact, personal attacks, you'll be asked to leave the event. Pretty cool stuff. I'm glad this has been put together. and you can be a part of it. Again, in person tonight. Doors open at 6:30. The show, I guess, it starts at 7 with the candidates on stage there and Damon Can moderating. And then, of course, for those who can't make it down to the Utah Theater in person between 6:30 and 7 tonight, we will be broadcasting the event live here on KVNU. If you missed that, I'll have some highlights from the event tomorrow on the show ahead of the For the People movie show. So, again, doors open at 6:30. Everything gets underway at 7 at the Utah Theater tonight. If that's inconvenient, we've got you covered. You can listen to the Let's Talk Logan Candidate Forum event starting at 7 o'clock here on KVNU, 610 AM, 102.1 FM. And we'll be back with more of For the People right after this.
News Talk 610 AM, 102.1 FM, KVNU.
Everyone has an estate, but do you have an estate plan? This is Jace Allen, Northern Utah's estate planning attorney. At Allen Law Office, wills and trusts are what we do. If you've been putting it off, now is the time to get it done. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your loved ones, protect your legacy, protect your assets. Start today at cashlegal.com or just search Allen Law Office. Wills and trusts are what we do. Allen Law Office.
As a lifelong Idahoan, I know the importance of defending our values and protecting our way of life. I'm Congressman Mike Simpson, and I'm proud to work alongside President Trump to deliver our conservative agenda for Idaho families, driving down inflation, securing the border, and returning to American energy independence. It's an honor to be your voice in Congress and to fight for a stronger, safer, and more prosperous nation. To learn more about my work in Washington and across Idaho, visit simpson.house.gov.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
My daughter was diagnosed with a rare malignant rhabdoid tumor on the spine. They sent her straight to St. Jude. My hope was gone. But when you get there, everyone's like, hey, we're not going to give up. And when you see other people not giving up on your child, that makes all the difference in the world. When I found out I didn't have to pay, I was just grateful. They saved my baby's life.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
It is critical we keep AM radio in all cars and all trucks. Hey, Sean Hannity here. More than 80 million Americans depend on AM radio. It is the backbone of the emergency alert system, and that keeps us safe in dangerous times because when cell and internet services are down, AM radio might be your only lifeline. Now text AM to the number 52886. Tell Congress that we need AM radio in our cars. Text AM to 52886 today.
Standard message and data rates apply.
I'm sorry I'm here for someone else, but it's good to see your face, and I really hope you do.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. An important request from the Utah Wildlife. This is, Utah Division of Wildlife Resources. This is a disease we've known a lot about for some time. In fact, it stymied some efforts to control urban deer populations here in Utah, or in Logan recently, way back in Mayor Peterson's days as mayor. They were going to relocate some deer, and instead they had to kill them all because it was identified they had chronic wasting disease. This can be eliminated, but as of early September here in Utah, DWR had found more than 350 deer and 10 elk that have tested positive for chronic wasting disease. It's found throughout the northeastern, southeastern parts of Utah, and it is a pretty big deal. It can wipe out entire deer populations permanently in some places. So in an effort to fight the spread of the disease, the Utah Division of Wildlife Resources is asking all deer hunters to join their posse on fighting this disease this year. They're basically, if you plan to go out for the deer hunt, they're asking all deer hunters to help them out by bringing their harvested deer to check stations and have them tested for chronic wasting disease. It's as of right now, it's a relatively rare transmissible disease that's been in Utah since about 2002. It affects their nervous system. It basically, they starve to death. and because they can't chew or swallow anymore. And it starts in the animal's brain but moves to the spinal cord. And it's similar to mad cow disease, it's called scrapie in sheep. DWR biologists said infected animals can be tested easily, but tracking where this disease is the only way to stop its spread. So again, they're asking that hunters play a part in this. According to DWR veterinarian Ginger Stout, recent surveys have shown 78% of hunters have never had their deer tested for chronic wasting disease, and they strongly encourage hunters to stop at these free check stations that they'll have set up as they harvest a deer for a sample to see if the deer tests positive. This again will help them stay on top of monitoring. Now, this doesn't affect the meat. If you're hunting for meat, chronic wasting disease isn't a thing to necessarily worry about. The risk of transmission from animals to humans is extremely low, but they do recommend not consuming meat from animals infected. And so, if you're hunting for meat, this isn't just about tracking the spread of the disease. You might want to know that you shouldn't eat that deer. Again, transmission from animals to humans is unlikely and low, but it does happen and it is possible. So DWR recommends not eating meat from a deer with chronic wasting disease. So DWR again asking that hunters as the deer hunt gets underway here in a bit, that they help them out. They'll have check stations set up, and they're asking every hunter to stop and have their deer tested, both to protect you from eating the deer with the disease, just in case, but also to help them track where the disease is most common here in Utah. More information on this and where you can find the check stations at the DWR website, linked to in the CacheValleyDaily.com story right there on the front page. DWR asking hunters to visit check stations to have deer tested for chronic wasting disease this fall. Link on our Facebook page. Stick around. Dave Ramsey, followed by the Logan City candidate event, Let's Talk Logan.